Taking My Time, But I Don't Know Where. Written by cosmicocean on AO3. Read by Alextris. Chapter 14. Barnes doesn't hear from the kid for a week. He's not really sure how he's meant to do this, but he thinks giving him space is the way to go. He wouldn't be surprised if May made him block his number. Apparently that's something you can do. But he figures Peter will find a way around that eventually. After about a week, Barnes is out for a walk at night when his phone rings. Hello? Hey, Barnes? Peter's whisper sounds chirpy enough, but there's a slight edge to it. How's it going? Okay, Barnes answers a little cautiously. How's it going with you? Well, I'm hanging out on a fire escape, and I'm watching 5 burly-ass guys trying to jack a car. I think I'm going to try and stop 'em. I feel pretty good about my chances, honestly, but I'm going to send you my location, and it's up to you whether you want to come do anything about that. Barnes' stomach drops. Peter. See you soon. Bye. Peter drops the call. Seconds later, his phone pings with Peter's location, and swearing mightily, Barnes sets off at a run. It's bad. Barnes can see it's bad from the distance. 5 guys crowded around something much smaller. He surges forwards, and only doesn't break all their necks because he knows Peter is going to ask about it when he's cognizant. Kid, Barnes says once the guys are taken care of, rushing up to him, turning him over. Peter cries out when he moves him, raising his hands to protect his face. Easy, easy, it's just me, it's Barnes. Peter lowers his hands, breathing heavy. Yeah, that's good. What of all the dumb fuck stunts you could have pulled? Barnes kneels down. How bad? My everything hurts. Can you narrow it down? Peter wheezes. My ribs and my face. Okay. Can you stand? I don't know. Barnes helps him to his feet and he crumples. No. Okay, I'm gonna get you home. No. Peter grabs his wrist. No, I don't want May to see how bad. You don't get a say. Barnes snaps. I'm gonna carry you. It's gonna hurt, but I need you to grit your teeth and bear it. He hefts the kid into his arms and the kid whimpers. I know. It's gonna be okay. Barnes takes the back alleys and side streets until he gets to Peter's apartment. He jams his elbow against the button and keeps it there. Yeah? May asks groggily. May, Barnes says, readjusting his grip on the kid, who appears to have passed out. The kid's hurt. There's dead silence. The door buzzes open. Barnes carries the kid up the back stairs until he gets to Peter's floor. May is standing outside their door, face white and drawn. Oh my God, she says as Barnes rushes towards her. What happened? He was getting the shit kicked out of him when I got there. Barnes heads into the apartment and lays Peter down on the floor. May kneels next to him, and Barnes closes the door behind them. Peter, May asks. Oh, Jesus. Barnes turns to see she's tugged the mask off. Peter's face has been beaten to a pulp, Barnes' stomach lurching at the sight. He says his ribs hurt, Barnes tells her. Check his. May gently feels around his ribs. I think they're cracked. Okay, I'm gonna. May inadvertently presses down against Peter's ribs, and Peter jerks into consciousness with a cry. Peter! May rests a hand on his chest. Peter, it's me. Hurts, Peter groans. I know, we're working on it. Barnes gets up and heads into Peter's room. He yanks a t-shirt and sweatpants out of his dresser and rips them up a little, hoping he didn't like them. He comes back and drops them next to May and Peter. Get him changed into these, Barnes tells her. You got a car? Yeah. We'll take him to the hospital. Tell him it was a mugging gone wrong. Okay. Barnes kneels down next to Peter as May starts wrestling him out of the suit. Kid. Peter looks at him, dazed. We're taking you to the hospital. When they ask, you were mugged. You got that? He nods. Good. Barnes heads into the kitchen. He grabs Peter's water bottle out of the fridge and starts rummaging around in the cabinets. He shoves granola bars and a sleeve of brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts into a reusable tote bag nearby. He turns to May, who's managed to get him into sweats and is easing him into a shirt. giving Barnes a glimpse of the ugly bruises spreading across his stomach. Barnes swipes a pair of socks left on the floor and grabs Peter's shoes. He slides the socks and shoes on. "You're doing great, kid," Barnes tells him, starting on lacing up his shoes. "You're tough as nails. You should have seen me the first time I got my ribs cracked. I whined a hell of a lot more than you." "Yeah," Peter mumbles. "Nice to beat you at something." Barnes starts lacing up the other shoe. "You beat me at lots of stuff, kid. You don't even know." He finishes the other shoe. "Okay, kid. I'm gonna carry you down to your aunt's car. It's gonna hurt, but we'll take the elevator this time." "Okay." Barnes lifts Peter into his arms. Peter whimpers a little, clenching a fist in Barnes' shirt. Barnes turns to May. "Lead the way." May and Barnes sit in the waiting room of the ER in silence, an empty chair between them. Peter's been admitted, so they're just waiting to be allowed to see him. Barnes stares at the wall, wishing he had his butterfly knife to fidget with. "Did you stop him from getting hurt worse?" Barnes blinks it, looking over at May, who's watching him, something wearily calculating in her gaze. "What?" "When you got there, you stopped him from getting hurt worse." "If I'd gotten there sooner, he wouldn't have gotten hurt at all." "But they might have killed him if you hadn't gotten there at all?" "Yeah." May's quiet for a second, then she gets up and sits next to him. She leans forwards a little. "I don't know anything about your world," she tells him, "and it scares me that he's out in it." "Yeah, I don't blame you." "But you're protecting him." "Yeah." "Barnes, I've been watching him like a hawk, and he's still—" May looks at the wall. "Is there anything I can do to stop him?" "Kid's tenacious. I told him to stop, and he wouldn't. And I don't think this is going to dissuade him either." May looks at him. "Who are you, Barnes? Really?" "You won't believe me." I think I'll believe anything tonight." Barnes mulls it over. "I like Barnes," he says eventually, "but my full name is James Buchanan Barnes." Her eyes widen. "And I am that James Buchanan Barnes. I have seen a lot of shit, May. I've been tortured and made to do some terrible things. But it gave me a skill set that I am glad to have. I am glad to have it if it means I can protect the kid." May nods slowly. "You're what, 94? 95, I think." "Huh." "I'm sorry I wasn't fast enough this time. I went as fast as I could." "Yeah, I believe you. Mrs. Parker?" Barnes and May look up. A nurse is standing there patiently. "You can see Peter now." "Okay, thank you." May looks at him. I want to talk to him real quick, but I'll send someone for you." "Okay, sounds good." May gets up and heads into the hospital. Barnes pulls out his phone and sends a quick text to Natalia. "Kid's hurt." Almost immediately he gets a response. "Is he gonna be okay?" "Yeah." "It wasn't your fault." "Yeah." The phone rings. Barnes picks it up. "It wasn't," Natalia says, a little groggy but clear. "James, it wasn't." "I could have been quicker." "You got there quick enough to make sure he didn't get killed. Did you kill anybody? Do I need to send someone out for cleanup?" "No. I wanted to, but I didn't." "Okay." He dared me, kinda. I think he thought I wasn't gonna come. And Natalia, I'm always gonna come." "I know, James, and if he didn't know that before, he does now." "Stupid dumbass move. He could have gotten himself killed." "How bad was it?" "Cracked his ribs, beat his face to a pulp." Barnes runs a hand over his face. I think his aunt's okay with me now, though, which is something." Yeah, that's something." "We should have run off to that somewhere together, huh? Where they couldn't find us." "We should have done a lot of things, James." She sounds tired but fond. "And if we had, A lot of people who didn't deserve it would be dead. Yeah, I guess we're an acceptable sacrifice at the altar, huh? I guess we are. You should go back to bed. Get some rest. You'll be all right? Yeah, I'll be all right. Good night, James. Good night, Natalia. Barnes pockets his phone. He stares at the wall until somebody says, Mr. Barnes, you can see Peter now. Barnes mechanically follows the nurse back to Peter's room. When he gets there, May isn't in one of the 2 chairs available. She ran to the bathroom, Peter croaks out, one of his eyes swollen shut as the nurse closes the door behind them. Barnes sits next to Peter. I haven't told your aunt about that dumbass stunt you pulled, and I won't. But if you ever do that again, I'm telling her everything. I don't know what you were trying to prove, but Peter swallowed. I wasn't sure you wanted to be there. I always want to be there, okay? I'm always going to keep an eye on you, but you need to tell me before you get to a place, not when you're right up against the wire. You promise? Yeah, kid, I promise. May says she'll let me go back out with you. The kid takes a wheezy breath. So we're cleared officially. You're not going anywhere for a while. You're on bed rest for the foreseeable future. Yeah, she said that too. Peter takes another wheezy breath. I'm tired. Get some sleep, kid. I'll be there when you wake up. You promise? Only reason I'm going anywhere is if they kick me out. Okay. Peter's eyes droop shut. Sounds good. Within minutes, he's snoring. May comes in and sits next to Barnes. Hey. Hey. Barnes looks back at Peter. Was relieved to see he's lucid. The drugs they have him on are pretty good. Yeah, makes sense. May's stomach audibly growls. Barnes reaches into his bag and pulls out a granola bar. Here. Oh, thanks. The 2 of them sit in silence, just watching Peter breathe.